The dominoes keep falling in the drivers' marketplace. The Italian this year has delivered one of the most exciting moments of racing in the history of the Formula One Grand Prix. Let's simply take a look at the Ferrari podium, Devosi's excitement, Max Verstappen's incredible comeback from P5 to win the race, Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz's incredible charge through the field to finish in the top 10. If you think that's remarkable, you should see what Nick DeVries accomplished in his very first Formula One race, finishing P9. It appears that his performance astonished Formula One fans from all around the globe. Besides that, he took 2 points home as the rest of the world seemed to appreciate seeing the Dutch finish in this position. But one individual in particular, Nick DeVries' colleague Nicholas Latifi, was not a great admirer of the vehicle, which had the appearance of being the slowest car on the track. Apparently, Latifi was not thrilled to discover that a teammate of his squad had scored 2 points in one race, surpassing Latifi's total, while Latifi had not yet scored a single point. So what exactly is going on within the Williams garage? Why did Williams drop Latifi from his racing team? And who will take his place in the team, knowing that Latifi won't be a part of it anymore? Nicholas Latifi started his career in Formula One in the 2020 season with Williams Racing on a 3-year deal. Since then, he has competed in 55 Grand Prix races and earned a total of 7 points toward the championship. His first race in which he finished in a position to earn points was the 2021 Hungarian Grand Prix. Aside from that, Latifi struggled during his stay with the squad to maintain a level of form that was comparable to that of colleagues George Russell and Alex Albon. Now recently, it has been established that Williams Racing and Nicholas Latifi will end their professional ties at the end of the 2022 season. It has been speculated for a number of months that the Canadian would be leaving, but Williams has now confirmed the rumor by saying that the contract he has until now will not be renewed. According to Williams, Latifi's replacement as Albon's partner would be announced in due time. Latifi said in a statement, "I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone at Williams Racing, all the people back at the factory, and those I work with trackside for the last 3 years. My initial F1 debut was postponed due to the pandemic, but we eventually got going in Austria, and although we have not achieved the results together we hoped we would, it's still been a fantastic journey. Getting those first points in Hungary last year was a moment I'll never forget, and I will move on to the next chapter of my career with special memories of my time with this dedicated team. I know none of us will stop putting in every effort until the end of the season. But during his first full season with Williams, Latifi was unable to contribute to the team's crisis at the bottom of the standings by scoring any points. He earned his first point in Formula One in Hungary last year, when he finished 7th overall and led Williams to their first point total in almost 2 years. But following his accident in last year's Abu Dhabi season finale and the ensuing influence of the safety car on the league title, Latifi was subjected to death threats and severe internet abuse, which had a negative effect on his mental health. So far this season, Latifi has finished no higher than 12th, whereas Albon and Nick DeVries, who covered for Albon at Monza, have both scored points for Williams. On the other hand, the CEO of Williams F1, Jost Capito, praised Latifi as a great team player who has a great attitude toward his colleagues and work, and said that Latifi is well liked and respected throughout the business. Capito further remarked, "Our time together is coming to an end, but I know he will put full effort in to maximize what we can do together for the remainder of this season. We wish him all the very best of luck for his future, both in and out of the cockpit." At the same time, Latifi said at Zandvoort that he would not look anywhere else for 2023 racing until his future with Williams was settled, but it is unlikely that he will remain on the F1 grid. However, Williams is in a stronger financial situation after being acquired by Doralton Capital. Since then, many have questioned how long Latifi can remain in F1 on his financial resources alone. It appears that the question has been answered, and it's not a good one. He had lost interest in the legendary squad after being outperformed by his colleagues for 3 consecutive years. On the other hand, his case was likely harmed by his own comments on the Dutch driver's performance, in which he said that the vehicle ended where it was meant to. This threw a pall over his appearances, as onlookers wondered more why he couldn't drive his own car to its assigned parking spot. But according to many, he's one of the nicest Formula One drivers, and he often has one of the greatest and most positive mindsets. He can also provide some decent drives on his good days, with just one caveat: those days don't come around all that often. Even though Nicholas Latifi has contributed much to the car's development and has sometimes been a successful driver, the problem is he has a difficulty with consistency. He just wasn't able to consistently perform well in races, which was crucial for Williams. So, the Williams team was battling at the bottom of the standings. He will surely make new decisions to score points and improve its position in standings. But on the flip side, their position means they don't have much to lose. In light of that information, they took this choice and stand to benefit from the loss of a driver. Now to see what happens. They have a choice of trying out a rookie or promote someone from outside of Formula One. In due time, we'll know whether they'll go with a less experienced driver who is searching for a job or a more skilled one who already has one. So, who would take Latifi's place? There are different speculations on social media, but Williams had anticipated that Australian Oscar Piastri would step in to replace Latifi in the starting lineup. Other than that, he has two more major contenders, Logan Sargeant or Nick DeVries, for the 2023 race. Anyhow, the current Formula 2 champion Piastri is on Alpine's reserve driver list for the year, but he refused to join Williams when the team offered him a drive and will instead make his F1 debut with McLaren in 2023, driving alongside Lando Norris. Another alternative for Williams is Dutchman Nick DeVries, who ended 9th in the Italian Grand Prix 2 weeks earlier after being drafted at the final moment when Albon was hospitalized for appendicitis. But DeVries, who is now a reserve driver for Mercedes and is a past champion in both the gasoline-powered Formula 2 series and the all-electric Formula E series, is also being considered for a transfer to Red Bull's second team, which is known as AlphaTauri. Even though Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda are both locked into contracts with AlphaTauri for the next season, the Frenchman is attracting attention from Alpine, who are without a teammate for Esteban Ocon, whereas Fernando Alonso now at Aston Martin and Piastri at McLaren. Also, Red Bull racing consultant Helmut Marko, who oversees driver selections for the firm, is willing to let Gasly leave to Alpine if a successful competitor is found. Instead, Marko had wanted Colton Herta, a race winner in IndyCar, but Herta is ineligible for an F1 super license, and DeVries has emerged as the top contender in this competition. In addition, there are also other experienced drivers that will be available for the 2023 season, including Mick Schumacher, who is likely to lose his position at Haas, and Antonio Giovinazzi, who is now a reserve for both Alfa Romeo and Ferrari. On top of that, Williams also have an option to promote American Logan Sargeant, a member of their driver program who is currently third in the F2 championship standings. Anyhow, it is perhaps time for Formula One fans to bid Latifi a kind goodbye. After all, he gave us a lot of great memes and one of the most famous F1 crashes ever, one that altered the championship's path and continues to haunt Mercedes supporters' dreams. So, what do you think? Who will take spot of Nicholas Latifi as having so many choices? Or will Williams sign a contract outside of Formula One?